You have the floor, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much.
You should have it momentarily.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon to our Fire and EMS committee and to the citizens of Douglas County. Welcome to our December 9th, 2022 special call meeting. And certainly today I'll start with my name as we go and with roll call. I'll start Dr. Mona Jackson-Jones, the chairman of the Fire and EMS committee, and I'll yield the floor to you, Commissioner Guida, and we'll just go around, make it easy.
Hey, I'm Ann Jones, Guida District 4 and Vice Chair of Fire and EMS.
Mm-hmm. Chief, you're on mute.
Yes, this is Fire Chief Roger Jolivet, Douglas County Fire and EMS.
Okay.
Deputy Chief Eric Phillips, Douglas County Fire and EMS.
Deputy Chief Miles Allen, Douglas County Fire.
Jason Farmer, EMS Chief, Douglas County Fire.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
John Reed, Terminus President.
Okay, thank you. I believe, and I know we do have a quorum if we need to vote on something, so all present and accounted for. We have a few members that are absent today, but I know Paula, you will make a note of that.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
I'm trying to pull the agenda. I'm looking at it. Yes, there we go. All right, we right now have everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes of the October 4th, 2022 meeting. Did you have an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if so, I will call for a motion. Do we have a motion to approve the October 4th, 2022 minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion about anything related to these minutes? Okay, certainly. All in favor of the minutes, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that means the motion carries and the minutes are approved. Okay, Fire Chief, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Guide, to our distinguished panel members, also to the citizens. Thank you for allowing us to serve you. We're going to have this special call meeting is going to be brief. We have some business items that we need to bring forward. So we'll start with the old business. It's just an update on the Station 4 Fair Play update. That particular station is in the process of renovation. Thank you to the citizens. Right now, they've been through all the different plan reviews and everything, and they're working to finish up with the civil engineer review. That's supposed to be done. The berthing for personnel, they're still working on that. They will have power in that building, I'm told, by the end of this week, which should be today. We'll be working on looking at a radio system to go into that temporary berthing. There's a cost to that, so we'll be.
I need the tech, man.
I need everyone to mute their mics, please.
I need it.
The Barclay, thank you.
I need the tech.
Ms.
That's
Barkley.
what I'm talking about.
Ms. Barkley,
You're worried about the wrong thing.
Ms. Barkley.
Ms. Barkley, she's one of our new team members, and we're excited to have her on our meeting. This is her first meeting. But anyway, the Fair Play is, they're going to be looking at a change order because after reviewing the plans and bringing the building up to the renovation standards for personnel, there's going to be a change order as it relates to having a sprinkler system in the building. So the architecture and contractor and all those individuals are getting together and they'll be presenting that. And we just wanted to have a brief update on it. We're excited about it. It's still within the phase of initial stages of that they emphasized when they first started on completion by the summer. So they're looking to get started, and get that, taken care of. But I'll let everybody know how we're coming with that, change order. Once we get past that, we'll be good to go. The main thing was the birthing for our personnel, and then we'll be, working to get that project started. And I think, Terry Gable, you on the line today? Terry might not be here. Yeah, he's here. Terry,
Yeah, Chief, I'm on.
you have anything?
So we're hoping, Chief, I'm sorry, we're hoping to get those calls from the contractor, hopefully next week. And, he'll be presenting that to us, and we'll have it before the team for review, and then get it, before the community.
Sounds good. And the good thing about it is, the 2002 SPLOST, took up about $600,000 of that project. So we still, should be okay in terms of funding for that project. But we'll be, bringing the information as it comes forward and acting accordingly. Any questions on the Station 4 fair play? So we're excited about it, and we just continue to try to make it happen. The QRVs, they are in Alabama, being outfitted still. They should be here. Chief Farmer, they should be here when?
Well, we're still working with them right now in March, but I don't think that that's gonna be, how long it's gonna end up being. We're probably looking more like 1st of February.
Yeah, the most important part of that is getting all the equipment and getting everything going with that. So we're working on getting the equipment, getting them outfitted, getting the camper tops on them, and getting them in service. So we're still working to try to get those up and going, because they're gonna help us out.
Mhm.
Any questions on this 4 QRVs? All right, the RFP for the burn building, that is still pending. Our procurement director has been working tirelessly to get that taken care of, so we're hoping that she'll have that, we can advertise it and get that going. We have burns the next 2 to 3 weeks in our building now, but after those burns, we'll be looking to try to, do other things in terms of safety for our personnel. So right now we're hoping to get that RFP going, so we can get that new burn building set up for our training. With the Station 9 project that's going to be happening, we're going to be doing a lot of training, a lot of new people coming on board. So we want to try to go ahead and get that burn building going. So right now we're just waiting for our procurement director to roll that out for us. Any questions on the burn building RFP? All right, moving along, we're gonna go to, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump to, COVID-19 update. Chief Farmer, how are we looking on that?
COVID looks good. I was actually gonna, make a recommendation and see if we could, stop with the COVID updates, unless we see a need for it. Right now, we've had 1 employee that's tested positive this month. Vaccination rates remaining the same. We've only transported 4 patients with COVID. And our infection rate for the county has been low for months and months and months. So I was going to make that recommendation and see what y'all thought.
Okay. Now, one thing we've done, we've actually continued to double down on our decontamination and hand washing, and spraying our buildings and all that stuff. So that in itself is really helping us out, because it's helping us as we do our day-to-day activity on that. The county, I think they suspended the COVID testing. Is that right, for the new hires?
Yes, sir, they did.
So we're waiting to talk to our deputy county administrator on that recommendation once he returns. So we'll be able to have some conversation, go through the holidays, and see how things are before we actually move in on that piece. Chief Farmer.
Sounds good.
All right. Any questions on our COVID-19 update? All right, moving right along. We'll go.
Very good.
Oh, go ahead, Madam Chair.
No, it's very good.
Okay. All right. We'll go to our divisional overview. We just want to do a quick overview about divisions, let the public know what we're doing and how we're going to be keeping them safe over the holidays, and and so forth. So we'll start with Deputy Chief Allen of Operations.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, committee members. As far as an overview for the operations section, currently we're going to be updating our response policies. We've had a few emergencies in which we've done some critiques, and we're going to be updating our policies to reflect the different changes in the models that we've been doing. That's a quick down and dirty. Any additional, Chief?
That's it. That's right on point. We'll be using the incident management system, command system, and we'll be looking at our radios, our personnel, turnout gear, and stuff like that as we enter those buildings, make sure we're safe and our people are safe. I think it was in Baltimore. Chief Reed can probably speak on this quickly, but we had a situation that lost 3 firefighters last year in January. That's the time of the year or time of the season where we have a lot of fires. So departments across the country have been going back and doing lesson learned and making sure that people are safe. And Chief, you want to say something on that right quick? There's a good friend of yours that's out there, as fire chief.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, Niles Ford. Feel sorry for that fire department out there in Baltimore. They lost 3 firefighters, and the biggest problem they had was a lack of command. And right now, all across the country, that's one of the things they're looking at, command and control of fires. And I think on Douglas County end of it, they're doing a great job in training. And training and recruitment is something they have to be focused on. And I want to say thanks, Chief, for all you do out there in Douglas County to keep your department up the way it should be. I don't want to get too much into details of what happened in Baltimore because that's a long story to tell. So go ahead, Chief. I'm going to let you pick that back up.
Okay, and we just want to say that we have this thing about the National Fallen Firefighters that everyone goes home. There's 16 initiatives, and one of the initiatives, the first one is culture, safety culture. And that safety culture is something that we're constantly working on, empowerment, risk management, our physicals, certification. So all these things are being addressed in our new budget, and we're hoping that our new budget will support our mission as we take care of our members and also the community. So we just want to bring that to the point that we are looking at our policies, operation policies, response policies, and all that stuff, and we're just going to continue to stay pressed and keep getting the job done. Moving on, any questions on operations side? Well, I'll go on to our facility and our admin side. Chief Phillips, you want to talk about our buildings or things we got going with that for safety-wise?
For safety-wise, right now, let me first of all say hello to everybody. As far as safety-wise with our facilities, it's the annual inspection of all our fire extinguishers in the stations and at our various facilities and on our apparatus, which is key because men and women use these fire extinguishers day in and day out on incidents. So we must keep them updated and inspected so they'll be ready for use. So that's the quick down and dirty what's going on in administration as far as from a safety standpoint, keeping our men and women safe.
Any questions for Chief Phillips in terms of our facility and admin? I know we're getting ready for a state inspection, and one part of that is to be compliant. Title 25 in the state of Georgia, you have to have a certain amount of equipment on our vehicles and our apparatuses. So we're actually getting ready for that inspection, which is going to take place on December 13th. So we've been working hard to make sure that we have all things in place for that part of it. Any questions for Deputy Chief Phillips on that part of it? Okay, well, I'll go right into CRR, Community Risk Reduction and Training, because Deputy Chief Lugo is taking vacation. As I mentioned, we have a state inspection coming up, and what that entails is making sure that our firefighters' certifications are up to date and complete in terms of background checks, their training, have the proper documentation that's required by the state. So the department has been really progressive and moving forward in certifications. And so we have a lot of people that they'll be looking at when they come down. They'll look at their hiring packet and look at their certification packet, and then they will officially certify them as state certification firefighters in Georgia. So we have a great number of people that's going to be certified, and we're excited about it. It's been a lot of work, but that's what we do in Douglas County. We work hard and work smart. Other than that, we're working on the ISO in terms of training, make sure we have ISO numbers. We're looking at 100% on our training, our hydrants, our pre-plan, all those things. So that's been a work in progress since January 1 of this year, and we're excited to be at 100%. And the deputy chiefs that work hard to make sure we get there. So that's it for training, community risk reduction. Any questions in terms of that? All right. So we're gonna step back a second and go to station number 9. Station number 9 is in full progress. We have Mr. Chris Cottle on the line, as well as Mr. David Good and also Terry Gable. Mr. Cottle had a short presentation about Station 9 in terms of plans and some of his costs associated with the architecture fees. And even with those costs, we will still be in budget. I think Mr. Gable had already planned for those anticipated costs, whatever. But Mr. Cottle, are you available?
Yes, sir, I am here.
All right, can you give us a short presentation, an update on Station 9? I know one thing is supposed to be turnkey, ready to occupy and take care of those citizens. I think it's May 1st of 2024. And I think May 1st of 2023, they're projecting starting construction on that project. There's a lot of things that's going to be involved with that. But Mr. Collins, go ahead, Mr. Collins.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. If y'all can please let me know that you see my screen now.
Very pretty.
Yes, we see. We can see it. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this will be short and sweet. This update was snapshot to show the committee where the project is. We're a good bit beyond this now, but I did not have a chance to update the slides. So we'll start with the site plan. Civil engineering has been through several reviews with the county. We've talked with DOT, and what you see here for the site plan is a result of that. You can see my mouse. This is where the station will be. Front door is here, and public, fire truck, and fire department staff will all enter the site here. Public parking near the front door, and staff and fire truck access is around this way. We have a gate here to secure fire and EMS cars while they're parked. Fire trucks will come on around and drive into the bay this way, and then on a call they'll come out the bay and can turn right or left here. This is a 4-bay station. As you can see, there's a lot of grading lines on the site. We'll be cutting into the hill here and digging down here for our storm water pond. Water will be collected, filtered, and then stored for release in this pond. Engineers been making good progress on it. I think we'll be getting near to turn in for the first permitting round soon. This is the floor plan as it's shaken out. Front door for public entry is here with a restroom, a vestibule, conference room, that they can access, and then controlled access back into the working part of the station. On the left side is the day room, dining, and kitchen. 3 refrigerators and 3 pantries for the shift. Data storage, workout room over here. And then we have 2 paths to get into the bay. And you'll see that each one has a airlock vestibule to prevent any contaminants from the bay migrating into the living area. We debated a good bit 4 bay versus 3 bay, which was the programmed amount, but the fire department determined that ultimately 4 bay was needed at this site. So we have it. We're going to bid roll-up doors and bifold doors. So y'all will be able to see the cost for that and then pick which type of door for the bays if you want. Over on the right side is what we call the hot zone, gear wash, tuber filler station, bottle wash. You move from a call into the gear wash area. If you're contaminated, we have 2 showers, small little locker area here to get contaminants off. Is a restroom and a washer and dryer. And then as the gear is cleaned and dried, it moves into the gear locker. And we've got 2 or 3 more lockers than the maximum shift we call for. Moving back into the private areas of the station, we have office for battalion chief, bedroom and bunks with lockers for each shift and a restroom shower for him. On the right side, we have the lieutenant and the captain's offices and bunks for them with lockers, and then 10 dorm rooms coming down the center for the firefighters and EMS. And back at the back, we have the restrooms, showers, restrooms and sinks for men, and then showers, restrooms, and sinks for the ladies. On each side, we have built-in work stations where folks can take down their notes, get on their computers, and do the necessary work that they have to do after a call. This is hard to see on this slide, but it's a zoom-in view of the day room and the kitchen. We have engaged a food service consultant to design the kitchen, specify all the cookware, coffee pots, dishwashers, all that stuff. It's very high-end, long-lasting, durable commercial here. And you can see that here. We have 2 hand wash sinks, an island where you can sit at the island and eat or go sit at the table. 6-burner grill with a griddle, ice water, and coffee over here, and a microwave on the counter. This is the roof plan of the building. Over the apparatus bay here, the roof will slope back to the back there. Hot zone roof slopes this way. These are all low slope roofs. And at the dorm area, going from high to low, and same here from high to low. We do have a covered outdoor patio for a grill and a patio table out there that will be screened from the public view. These were conceptual. Now they're much more developed. And I'm sorry I don't have updated images to show you, but this is a view from the front, from the street. Public front doors here. The apparatus bays are here. conference room, and then this is where the food service area is. This is the back of the station from the back side. And then we have the two sides. These doors are where staff will go into the building from parking. And so these are some very simple renderings so you can get an idea of the massing of the building. We're at the point now where we need fire department and committee and staff input on the look, colors. We think this is going to be a brick building. Apparatus bay and hot zone areas will be load-bearing CMU, and from that point over will be metal stud framing, load-bearing metal stud walls with brick outside. This is another view of the front of the station. This is where the trucks will come out onto the road. And then we have one more at the back. We know costs are a concern, so we've tried to keep this as budget conscious as we can, not trying to get too detailed or too fancy, but the goal is to have a handsome station that the fire department and the county will be proud of, and one that will last a long time. So now we need to talk about the market. As everybody knows, costs continue to go up. That's fueled by inflation, a very robust market, a decline in the labor force, as well as materials, which are getting increasingly hard to get. This is where I think we are, and I just say that with a caveat. It's very, very hard to know where we are. The market fluctuates every day, and it can be significant, but this is where I still feel like we will land somewhere in the $450 a square foot cost. And at 17,250 square feet, we're at 7.6. The impact of that, of course, the cost has gone up. We're going to continue to watch the trend. We want to maintain some contingency. So if there is a flex, if there is a bad bid day, y'all will still be able to move forward with construction without having to redesign, back up, and delay the job. Here is what we recommend. Chief, our fees are based on a percentage of the construction cost. It was originally based on a budget of $3.2 million. During our presentation to the county, we had said that even back then, that's not a realistic fee. So we started the job with a fee based on that, and we are at 5.55% of the cost. As we've increased the budget from 3.2 to 7.6, we're requesting to modify our fee accordingly, as you see there. And that means an additional PO needs to be put out for $242,913. This will match the desired scope from the fire department, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to still stay in budget on bid day. And with that, I'm glad to answer any concerns you may have. Just thankful for the chance to work with y'all.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, committee,
Yes, ma'am.
or Commissioner Guider?
Mr. Call, the gate that you are talking about where it's gonna enclose the vehicles, of the staff and everything, is that gonna be a keypad type gate? How do fire trucks get there, through there?
We're not sure yet. I think we would recommend a key card, as opposed to a key pad. I think we had discussed that the fire department staff would like key card access to the building, and that same card would work the gate. But we just haven't worked out the details yet.
Okay, I noticed that the dorm area, the places where the firemen and the EMTs will be sleeping, they're on the inside of the facility with no windows. It's gonna be skylights or something. It's kind of dreary to not have any windows. Cause that's their second home. Has anybody mentioned this?
Bear with me 1 second, and I want to zoom in on this so you
You
can
said
see
it
a
was
bit better.
the inside walls. I mean, the inside
That's correct.
is they have no access to windows.
No, ma'am. No one has shared concern yet for it. What we found is that they're not in their bunk except to sleep, or if they need to go in there and just want to shut the door and watch TV. So it's generally not a concern to not have windows. Where the offices are,
I think most of the other fire stations do have windows. I remember curtains being in some of the windows and everything. That's why I asked that. I wouldn't want a room that I slept in, or that was my second home that didn't have a window, or a skylight or something. I don't know. You might want to just talk to some of the firemen and how they feel about that. Are there other units that do not have windows in the dorm part, Chief?
What we're doing is, we have a committee, dealing with our firefighters that are gonna be assisting with some parts of the design and everything, especially interior. With this new facility, we're trying to keep it as safe as we can, but we can certainly look at it. But we will look at it and see.
But they spend more time than just to sleep in there.
Well,
They're to read books and things like that. So I would just at least ask around at some of the fire stations and see how do y'all feel about dorms without windows in it.
Yeah, I think our new station, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Farmer, Station 10, our newest station, do they have windows in their dorm rooms?
I think they have little ones like towards the roof line, I believe. But they're not full windows, I don't think.
Yeah, but just daylight. Yeah.
Yes,
But that's just something that kind of stood out to me, and I don't know why it stood out to me. I just don't like cubicles because you don't feel like a human being in a cubicle sometimes. It could be depressing, but anyway. Now, what was our original budget, Chief?
3.2, I think back in, Terry, correct me if I'm wrong, back in 2015, was it? 2015, 2016?
No, it's been earlier than that. I mean, it hasn't been that long ago that we were talking about how we were going to be within budget. What was
Well,
that?
yeah, we're within budget. The board approved, I think, what was it, Terry? Is it 8.7?
9 million.
Yeah, right.
8.3.
Yeah, 8.3.
It was 8.3.
Okay, so we're still within budget with
Yes, ma'am.
7.6.
Yes, we're still within budget.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, and I know that material, the supply chain is getting harder and harder And you were talking about brick. Have we talked about poured walls or the type that the conference center up in Douglasville, you know, they're not really real brick. They've got panels that it looks like brick and feels like brick, but it's really not brick. Have we looked at other ways of getting the job done without delaying it? Because I think the need is very pressing here, especially in that area with all the big warehouses and things like that. But
Yeah, one thing, we're at the point now where the project is moving along to the point where it's time to really address what actual materials and all that and availability. And that's what Mr. Carter was saying. We're at the point now where we're getting ready to start making those decisions. And one thing, like I said earlier, we got together. And we have about 12, 15 people on our team that's responders, and they'll be inhabiting the station and all. They'll be involved in that process. But we're right at about 17 months out on occupying that building. So we're really interested in getting started and getting things going. And we're moving at a good pace. Terry Gable's been following pretty close on the materials and stuff.
But a lot of the kitchen stuff and things like that probably need to be ordered ASAP, because I know there's because of the chip shortage and everything. If you don't have the equipment ready to just move it in, even if we have to store it somewhere temporarily, a lot of the special equipment, the stoves and refrigerators and stuff like that, may need to be ordered. Anything that has a chip in it.
Yes. I know we've had that conversation.
Know that from the what do you call the quick response vehicles, how long it took us to get just those 3 vehicles.
Yeah, I think James Worthington has been talking, Terry, about that as well. Have we been discussing that, about the availability, and go ahead and get stuff?
Go ahead and get that equipment on order, and then find a place. We'll store it somewhere, but go ahead and have it ready to be installed. I think we have a kitchen built there and no equipment in it.
Yeah, I think the only issue that we was really concerned with was the generator, and that was going to be an issue that was going to be.
Refrigerators, anything that has a chip in it. My stepdaughter just built a house, and if they had not ordered their kitchen equipment early, they would still be waiting to get in that house with a kitchen. So, but anything that has that chip in it's going to be delayed.
Yes, ma'am. We'll stay on top of that.
So you might. But anyway, it kind of scared me when they said it was original budget was 3-point-something million, and then we were at 7 million. And I thought, wait a minute, we were patting our backs because we were within budget, and so
yes,
we're still within budget.
We're within budget, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I think they had already anticipated the extra costs for the architecture fees and stuff like that, but so we already had planned for it.
So it's going to be a 4-bay.
Yes, ma'am, 4-bay.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, I yield back. Thank you.
Just for clarity for the public, that's Thornton Road and Douglas Hill Boulevard, and we'll be working with getting signage up. I know Mr. Good had mentioned put the splash signage up. We're working on that, as well as doing mailers and all as we get closer to getting the project off the ground and everything.
Well, you know, Bosch is just right there too, so and they have kitchen equipment. We might could get a special deal since it's going to be in that area.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, and so we're at the point where, just for the sake of clarity, we're interested in getting this put on the BLC agenda, if necessary, to entertain the modification of the fees And, we just need the direction of the committee, to go ahead and, maybe possibly take a vote to get this in front of the BLC so they can be aware and take a vote on it. And the fee increase, as Mr. Cole had said, went from, what was the starting fee, Terry? It started out at one fee and it went to what now? Just for sake of clarity.
I think, Chief, Chris's original fee was like 271,000 total, and this one is going up to 514. So it's a $242,000.
Yeah. And then $913 difference.
And I think, pretty sure, I mean, I know that the board and everybody was aware that it possibly happened with all the different changes and going from 3 bay to 4 bay and just the layout and everything. And, so if we could, look to make a motion to put this on to have the Board of Commissioners address the modification for consideration for approval. I'd like to go ahead and make that motion if possible to get that going.
Okay, Chief, before we make the motion, just had a question. The $242,913, is that within that 7.6 million? Is it in there already or?
Yes, ma'am.
So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and Commissioner Guider, please help me. If you have room for change orders and things like that, do you need to come back to the book? Because you may have quite a few change orders with this project. And so you wouldn't come see us every time, would you? Or,
that's right, I agree.
Chief, if I may.
Go ahead.
So the 7.6 million, Madam Chair, that is what Chris is estimating the total construction cost to be.
Oh, okay.
So what we've done is, as far as to answer your question, any change orders in that overall budget of 8.3 million, we do have money in there to handle change orders, and that's what the chief is referring to. And we had money in that budget, knowing that there would be a good chance we would increase, the architectural fees would go up. So we got both those covered.
Okay. So do we need a motion? Help us.
Based on the fee, money already been there and everything, and already been approved by the board, and the board already has anticipated, been made aware that there would be possibly some modifications and all. Terry, I feel like we're good unless we just want to take it to the board again. I mean, but they already approved a certain amount. We're not asking for anything in addition because the budget's already been set out and approved already.
Chief, I believe they're going to need to approve that amount. The 242,000, that'll be a change order, and we'll need to issue another purchase order.
It'd be an upfront cost too.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Change order is a change order now. Okay, got it. And upfront. Okay, well, call the motion, Chief.
Okay, we'd like to make a motion that we take this for the board of consideration to approval of fee modification for Hudson Gate Bell design service for new Fire Station 9. In the construction cost increase amount of $514,113 to be funded through the 2016 SPLOSH funds.
I second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Certainly, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, aye. Any opposed, oppositions? There being none, the motion carries to, Chief, you to bring this information forth to the Board of Commissioners. It's $500,000 amount as per request. Consider the change order. Okay.
Yes, and we're hoping that Mr. Call will be available, just in case any questions or show this short presentation. Because I'm excited to see the drawings and everything and the design, the renderings and all this. It's exciting.
Chief, you're not thinking about this coming Monday, are you? Are you looking for next Monday, or what are you trying to do? Get it on this agenda?
This last meeting.
You get it on this.
This agenda?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You may want to call Lisa Sherry. Okay, once we're finished. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, let's see what.
And then, any questions on that? Well, just to piggyback off of that, Mr. Guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the original square footage was what, and now it's up to,
It says 17.
450.
The estimated construction cost, I think, is 450, and I think Chris, you said 17,248 square foot.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, a lot of that's unheated, so would that square footage still be, I thought unheated area was not as high as.
I know we're hoping not to do that 450. It's just an estimate at 450. We're hoping that it'll be a little bit better than that, but they just want to. What were your rationale, Chris and Terry, for that?
Yeah, I'd like to comment on that. 450 is where I hope it is. We have bid 2 stations recently. We just did one up in Hall County that I think is pretty similar in scope and scale. It was a 3-bay, but it did at $540 a foot. We did one in Sandy Springs that was over $660 a foot. So the market is not where you would hope it would be. We are beginning to see things ease back down, and I hope that's a trend that's going to continue. Sometimes folks will want to compare building a fire station to building a house. You know, my house costs $200 a foot. Why is this so high? And a lot of the reason behind it, there's quite a few. From the safety factor, if a tornado comes through, the building code says that we have to design a fire station to withstand a lot more force than most any other building, because it needs to be there if disasters happen. So that means the footings are bigger, there's more steel, it's much more hardened than a typical building. That drives the cost up. And then when you look at all of the systems that have to go into a fire station, from alerting, software systems out in the base, we don't have air conditioning out there. We do have heat to keep it from freezing, but there is a lot of alerting and control systems in there that open the doors and shut the doors and flash the right light. We also have exhaust and carcinogen removal systems to keep the firefighters safe, to keep bad things from getting in their lungs. And then over on the hot zone, that has to have its own separate HVAC system, so carcinogens do not get from that, migrate their way over into the living area. So when you start to look at all these things combined, that really drives up a cost per square foot when compared to, say, a restaurant or an office building or a home. I'm really hoping for $450 a foot. Might be less, but it might be more.
Okay, Madam Guider, anybody have any other questions on that?
No, I was just, I've built a house here, my house, and I just know that unheated area is cheaper per square foot. And so half of the building is going to be unheated. The bay area, I guess. Is it not? Or
We discussed that too in terms of bays, and What do we come up with on that, Chris?
Yes, sir. It is. We do heat the bays. They're not going to get up to 70 degrees, but we heat them up to 40, 45 at least to keep everything from freezing. But there's a lot more that goes into that bay than just unheated space. Each of the bay doors are $60,000 to $80,000 a piece. All the steel that we have to get the volume, the open volume, to get the fire truck in there, along with headroom for the exhaust control and all that stuff. It really pushes up the cost of that space. Maybe you would compare it to a gym, like a high school gym. You would think of that could be unheated space. The systems and the structure and the operational controls that go into an apparatus bay are really different from what would be normally considered unheated space. And in my mind, the hot zone and the bay cost more per square foot than the living floor quarters do. So it's really, stations are unique.
And there may be a drainage issue in the bays.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. There is a lot more plumbing that goes into a fire station than a typical building. Even out in the bay,
a lot of stuff we don't normally see.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay. All right. Well, I was just asking. So I yield back.
That's why.
Alrighty. Any other questions in terms of fire station number 9? All right. Speaking of fire station number 9 and the time frame and everything, we've asked. We'd like to ask for consideration to bring before the Board of Commissioners to go ahead and start the RFP process for some of our equipment. Not only for the Station 9, but we're going to need equipment that will be funded out of 2016 SPLOST. But we're asking for some discussion from the committee and hopefully a recommendation to do an RFP for 2 fire engines, 5 ambulances, 1 heavy rescue. Heavy rescue will definitely be dedicated to that industrial area. 1 aerial fire truck. And all that RFP work is to go ahead and start the process in terms of get some proposals up so we can look at pricing and all that and availability. And all that is within the reforecast approved funding for 2016 SPLOST, but we would like to get that RFP, those RFPs started. So I'd like to ask for some discussion and then possibly let's make a motion to get those RFPs started so we can start looking at funding and availability of equipment that we're going to need. And also, we got a ladder truck right now being built that will assist at Station 9. The turnaround on that is about, I think it's 10 to 11 months. So we're glad to have something in the works for the ladder truck. Any discussion on RFP consideration?
Chief, when you're ordering a pumper truck, aren't the same equipment always put on the pumper truck? Do you have to rewrite it every time? I know there may be some updates or something, but
we're fortunate to have some specs already, and we'll just be going back reviewing those specs and make sure they are able to handle the area they're going to be in. And this area here is going to be, a lot of the area is going to be industrial and We got high areas of that may be rural. We're gonna be doing that to stake those trucks out based on where we're gonna have them housed. And also, it's gonna help with our replacement plan, because we do have a lot of older vehicles that are costing us pretty much what a new vehicle is costing in terms of repair work. And also, it's in the approved reforecast, and then we slowed the spending down, but if we're still gonna be anywhere from 12 to 18 months out, just trying to do the paperwork and get everything situated and availability on equipment and all.
That's great.
So, what are y'all thoughts on that in terms of get this before the board for RFP on that equipment? It's vital equipment, really.
But they can't really give you a quote per se on the vehicle because they don't know what it's gonna cost that far down the road.
Well, we're looking to do the RFPs, and if we do that process, they're actually different vendors are starting to submit proposals and funding and all. And if we can get that in, then we can go ahead and make a decision on if we're going to move forward or not. If we don't start the process, it's going to have us that far behind.
When y'all sell the old vehicles, is that money recycled back into your department? It should.
Yeah, because we got our own fund balance, so everything should line back up. I know Ms. Miller's on the phone, on the line, I'm sorry, and maybe Ms. Bivens, they could probably speak to that too, as far as that funding, if we sell something.
No, you're correct. Separate fund, it goes right back to fire.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought it did, or it should, since the cities have pay and everything, so, okay. I was just curious if we could go this far out, 18 months out for, proposals. But anyway, you say we can, we take your word for it.
Well, what I meant by that is we go ahead and start the RFP process, and then once we start getting those proposals in, then we can make a decision on whether we want to award that proposal out through that process, that procurement process. And then before we do anything, we're going to verify and make sure we have the funding of the money's in place. I think Mr. Good and Ms. Miller, y'all have been kind of following our dollars and everything. And one thing about it, and Terry Gabe will tell you, we don't have to pay for anything until it come in. So if it takes 18 months to come in, then that's when we actually pay for that particular equipment. But we'll make sure we have the funding in place before we actually award the contract or what have you. You want to speak to that, Mr. Good, right quick on that? Are you out there?
Yes, what I want to speak to Director Miller or Madam ECA can correct me, but since it's an RFP, you really don't have to get the full board approval to do the RFP. Just you gotta get the board approval, you know, the amount of money. And right now, the way that the funds are coming in and and the reforecast has been working out real good, we believe we do have the funds, but of course everything still relies on how Fire Station number 9 still comes out. But I believe when it comes to these RFPs, you don't have to ask for board approval. You might have to get it through committee, but not through board approval for RFP. Just the amount once you do the RFP.
That sounds good. And like I said, we mainly want to get the committee thoughts on that, and hopefully we can take a vote within our committee to go ahead and get that process started. And by we not having to take it to the full board of commissioners, which if they already approved the reforecast, that'll be even great. We can go ahead and just get the consensus on that. Are we ready to make a motion for the committee to move this forward from RFPs?
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with soliciting requests for RFPs for the purchase of 2 fire engines, 5 ambulances, 1 heavy rescue vehicle, and 1 aerial fire truck, to get this process started so we can find out what the actual amounts are and go through that procurement process and take it for the full board.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There being none, the motion carries. Okay, please.
Okay, and the last thing we'd like to mention is we had an ambulance that was wrecked back in 2021. We had a car drive into one of our ambulances that was going down Aniwaki Road, and it actually totaled the ambulance out. And so the box on the ambulance is still good, and the insurance company paid it was around $50,000, I believe, for to get that ambulance's re-chassis and remounted, but the price of everything went up, and in order to do the chassis work now, we're talking about another $60,000 or $70,000 to get that ambulance and everything back remounted and back in service. And so we're asking for RFQ discussion consideration to have a purchase of ambulance chassis for that additional amount of money of $60,000 to $70,000 to go with the $50,000 insurance paid to get that ambulance back up and going. But right now we had a discussion with the committee, what you think about that, and how do we want to proceed with it. But we have $50,000 already in line from the insurance company, but looking at the pricing increase and everything, you're going to be talking another $60,000 or $70,000 for a chassis, and we'd like to put that out through RFQ to get the best pricing. And those things are hard to come by right now, and we need to get that going so we can get that ambulance back up. And that ambulance possibly be available for Station 9. We're trying to get our equipment together for Station 9. So as a committee, what are y'all thoughts on it?
Is it their insurance or our insurance that pays for stuff?
Their insurance.
Their insurance?
Yes, ma'am.
And so ours didn't pay any?
The $50,000, and I think Mr. One Risk and Safety personnel was working on it, and they only got $50,000 total out of everything. And I don't know if Ms. Miller can speak on that $50,000, but they have it set aside for future use in terms of the vehicle. So all I was told was $50,000 was it. We weren't gonna pay any more, but it's gonna cost us another $60,000 or $70,000 to get that box mounted on the chassis. The boxes don't have any problem with it. The box that's on them is just the chassis and the engine and all that stuff that goes with the chassis. So we need to move forward with getting that taken care of, because the pricing of everything is continuing to go up. We wanted to put that out to some vendors to let them come up with pricing for getting that ambulance taken care of. Because practically a new ambulance. Chief Farmer, what's the year of that ambulance? Was it one of our practically new ambulances?
That was one of our brand new ones, absolutely.
Yeah. So that box on it is still good, and our personnel had to crawl out of the cab of the ambulance because they were hit. And I think years back, and this just kind of discussion, but years back we lost one of our crew members years back in that same area, I was told. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's where we are with it, and just want to get some discussion and possibly a motion to go ahead and move forward with this.
But my question was it their insurance that paid the $50,000 or ours? And I still don't know what
their insurance
the answer is.
Yeah, their insurance paid that. I'm sorry I wasn't clear on that.
But did our insurance pay anything?
I'll check on that for you.
as,
But
as the loss, you know.
yeah, my understanding is our insurance didn't pay anything. They paid $50,000. Their insurance paid $50,000. But I get some clarity on that for you.
Yeah, I just wondered, did we put in a claim since their insurance didn't pay enough?
Yes, ma'am. I'll check on that. Like I said, risk and safety management from start to finish, and I'll find exactly how that went in terms of. I was just told that we only had $50,000 from their insurance, because I guess our insurance had negotiated with their insurance company. Travelers had to negotiate with their insurance company. That's all they came up with was $50,000. So I'll double check on that and find out what the exact outcome was on that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was handled by our director at risk and safety. So I'll find out what's going on with that.
Okay.
But what we'll need though is to consider RFQ to see what it costs to get a chassis ambulance for that ambulance we can get in service. And for what?
It's brand new. It shouldn't have been depreciated out very much, you wouldn't think. And chassis has the motor in it, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you see all these chassis at some of these truck places and everything sitting there, and the chassis itself would cost way more than $50,000 because that's where the motor is.
Yeah, they've gone up. They've gone up quite a bit since this happened. And
I'm surprised that travelers settle like that because we're losing so much. If this had been an older one, I could see, but $50,000 for a brand new chassis and frame to sit the box on.
Yeah, at the time, they thought they were doing fair market value, but the bottom fell out on chassis, and they're hard to get now throughout the whole United States. And so the price went up, and that's where we are now. We're looking at possibly 117, 120. We added that to the 50,000, and we're looking to move forward to get that taken care of.
I don't know. Okay.
So, any other thoughts on moving forward with the RFP? Go ahead and get that process started for the purchase of the ambulance chassis.
You can make a motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we initiate RFQ, for the purchase of the ambulance chassis to be funded by the 2016 SPLOST and the insurance money that has been paid for recovery damages.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion in a second. Committee. We have a motion in a second in discussion. We have a motion in a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All in
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Being no opposed, the motion carries. So,
Okay,
there you go.
we just have a few more items. One is the EMS update.
Mm-hmm.
Chief Farmer, quickly on the EMS update, and
Yes.
follow that. Go ahead and cover the personnel update as well.
Okay.
We'll hear from E911 EMA if they're on board, and then we'll talk about our billing. We got some good news on our billing, along with the Blaze newsletter and November events. We'll be quickly on it. We'll try to do all this in 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
I've got 8 things, and I can probably cover it in less than 5. So, the most important is we got a letter from Medicare that they are again giving that supplemental check where they up the payment limit for 2021. The thing is, we've got to be able to pay the state their portion of that by January 12th. So I don't know what that process needs to look like, but we have to have by January 12th $23,000 sent to their wiring like we did in August of this year. So however we need to move that through, but that date is firm. Our portion of the reimbursement is $63,000, and then we have to pay the state the $23,000 to get ours.
And what we'll do with that is make a motion to the committee to pay that amount and And then, like I say, we'll get that extra check for 66, but we have to pay like Chief Farmer said, it's 23,000. We did this not long ago. We talked about it. So, you have anything else on that, Chief Farmer?
No, that's it. Just to make a motion that we go ahead and pay that.
Okay, you want to make that motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and pay the 23,000 for the state reimbursement. I think that's it.
We're gonna ask Madam Chair if she approves us making that motion, and we'll make it the proper way.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That motion is fine. Do we have a second on the motion?
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And any opposed? Being none, the motion carried to allow this reimbursement to be taken care of.
And like we did last time, we'll get with finance and everybody to make sure everything is good on it. And like I said, the gold thing, we'll make a check for 23 something, pay out, and they'll send us back a check for 66. So we'll go into our funding. All right. Anything else, Chief Farmer?
Just a couple of things. These are really updates. You know, we've got a lot of stuff planned for 2023 regarding EMS. So these are just to kind of let you know what we'll be asking for early first quarter of next year. We'd like to do a articulation agreement with Faithful Guardian to host a paramedic program here. So be looking for that. We also would like to do a new clinical partnership with South Fulton Fire Department. So we'll be asking for that. And then we are still tracking, we track a ton of stuff. I'm going to share my screen really quick. I just want you to see, is that showing through? Oh, let me get shared here. So this is just to show you everything that we are tracking. So when we're going,
There you go.
okay, when we're having conversations about best practice and watching our metrics, we truly are looking to see where we are, where we're going, and how what we've done has made, what impact it's had. So we are making improvement. This phase 1 achievements is showing you from May to now, and it's showing you an overall where we've gone. We still have some work to do. So what we're going to be asking for in 2023 is transporting patients in our quick response vehicles. We're currently working with travelers right now to make sure that's appropriate and insurable. We would like to ask for incentives for our lead crews that are on our transport units. We discussed it in August, but looking at the data, we really do want to go ahead and push that through for maybe January of 2023. We do want to go ahead and move forward with increasing our response fees and fees for transport to get them to where they're more competitive and where they need to be. We would like to initiate charging for large gathering events to allow us to be able to support that and not be on the taxpayers' backs to finance that. We are also working with GoMed, which is a mobile critical care organization. They're a mobile urgent care. And so they bring the urgent care to the patient. We've run into a lot of barriers with telehealth. We are really looking forward to maybe doing a partnership with GoMed. And right now we're looking for funding sources, which has included us reaching out recently to Wellstar Douglas. So we are very excited about that. And then we asked Ms. Bivens for a meeting whenever she slows down. So it's nothing urgent, but we do have a couple of outstanding things that we want to go over with her financially, make sure we're on target there. As far as our personnel update, Chief, you should have moved into that. Our personnel, our staffing looks great compared to where we have been in the past. We still do have 8 openings, but before COVID hit, we were in the mid-20s. So where we're at right now is a young, energetic staff that we are training up. And it's really exciting to see them and how happy they are and all the training and how engaged they are with it. So we're enjoying it. But like I said, we've only got 8 openings, so that is fantastic. And then I know Melissa's going to go into the billing. My part's a little different, but I really have some good news. I just wanted to hit on our billing because Melissa and I and Chief have been really focusing on billing and reimbursement because when we started looking at it, there was a huge amount of money that we weren't getting reimbursed for the services that we were providing. So already we have surpassed what we collected in net payments for 2021. our monthly average for net revenue has gone from 228,000 to 277,000. Our collection rate is up from 47% to 78%. And our average per run, the beginning of this year was $225, and we are now up to $896. Now that amount is probably not going to be sustainable because we're hitting some catch up from earlier, but we are rolling, and the things that we're initiating, and we've got data to support that they're working. So I'm just excited about that. Melissa's got the firm numbers, but I just wanted you to see the growth and how much more of reimbursement we've been able to recoup for the services that we've already provided. So I know I talked fast, but I hit them all in 6 minutes.
Well, let me just add one thing. Chief Farmer mentioned 8 personnel openings, but we have several members that have worked for this fire department that are calling every day. They're knocking on the door. They're coming to see if they want back in. And so we're doing our assessments on everything we're doing. And so those 8 openings we got paramedics, people calling, want to get back. They've been here 10, 11, 12, 15 years. So it's good right now in terms of recruitment and all that, what we're doing. So we're going to keep doing it and making it happen for our citizens. Well, okay, with that said, any other questions for Chief Farmer before we move forward?
No questions, just a comment regarding the collection rate. It's moved from 47% to 78%. That's very good. Thank you, Chief Farmer, and your entire team for making sure that this money is captured. And we're doing a great job, and you're working, and we have a company that you work with, a third-party company, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am, A&B.
A&B. Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. No further comments.
All right. Moving along with E911, EMA, are y'all out there? Any updates?
This is Jason with EMA. Chief?
Yes.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioner Guider and citizens of Douglas County. For E911, I just wanted to talk about our staffing. I am pleased to announce that we set a goal to increase our staffing by 50% on or before 12/31/2022. And I'm very pleased to say that we have not only met that goal, we have exceeded that goal. E911 does not have any open positions. We are fully staffed.
Very good.
And just secondly, our CAD upgrade project has been pushed once again due to Mock Alert, which is our fire station alerting system, not interfacing with CAD. So the technical folks are still trying to work that out. And we are looking at first quarter of 2023, hopefully by January of 2023. Any questions?
Awesome.
No questions for me.
Right.
Good job on your staffing. That's great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And EMA, you mentioned something.
Yes, sir. The only thing I'll bring up since we're running after 5 here is we got a situation with our audiovisual upgrade in the EOC. We ordered it back in January last year, and it was supposed to be pretty much done this year. They've not even started yet because the restaurant cannot get the parts they promised in for the thing. So I've been working with the audiovisual company, and I found a solution, switching away from some of the Crestron parts and going to another vendor producer that can get the stuff in. And if we do a change order for them for about $3,500, we can get it into the first quarter in 2023. And I just want to get the opinion of the board to do that, to go ahead and go with that route, or just hold firm and it'll be towards the end of 2023 if we hold out for the Crestron, all the Crestron equipment.
You're saying you need the equipment, Jason?
Yeah, we need it. I mean, we needed it. It's the audiovisual equipment was put in when we built the building, so it's 11, 12 years old and it's starting to fail. Actually, I had one of the rooms projector have an issue, some connectivity issue this week in another.
Is an update of the equipment.
Yes, ma'am. And like I say, the original cost was going to be right at $75,000. That's what we the board had approved, and we've gone through, and we've been waiting for them to do it. And then, like I said, I've been fussing with them for months, trying to push them. And I told them they were going to have to come up with another solution when they told me it was going to be in the third quarter of next year with what they were doing. So they came up with this solution. It's just going to be like $3,500 more. And to me, that I don't like it. But it's really not their fault. The restaurant's not giving them the equipment, but still they promised something they haven't been able to deliver. But it's so their basically solution is wait till when it comes in at the end of the third quarter, end of 2023, or go ahead and do this alternate solution and pay the additional $3,500. That's pretty much our solution.
And so the parts are interchangeable from one?
No, they're actually going to, it was a complete upgrade in the EOC for the most part, everything that needed to be upgraded. So instead of using Crestron, they're going to use another producer of that on that. So they'll have to but everything is going to be replaced. They're just replacing it with different companies. Instead of Crestron, they're using another vendor.
Okay, but we're getting what we ordered to begin with, but just from a different source.
Yeah, just a vendor, just different producer. Like I said before, you're getting a Chevy. That's all. That kind of deal.
Okay, well, I for one think we need to go ahead and proceed.
Thank you.
Yes, proceed.
All right. That's all for you, maybe this time.
Okay.
For the sake of time, go ahead, Matthew. I'm sorry.
No, I just said, Director Milholland just said keep up with it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
For the sake of time, we're gonna, the blaze and all that stuff, we just gonna keep blazing away. But just Melissa, if you can close us out with the ambulance billing, that'll get us where we need to be.
Okay, not a problem. Good afternoon, everyone. For the month of November, we had 1,647 responses. And out of those responses, we had a total of 909 transports, averaging 55 calls a day. We pulled in over 382,000 for the month of November. Our total payments received was $388,293.63, which is a 47% increase from October, concluding a total so far for the year at $3,055,043.12.
At that, we turn it back over to Madam Chair.
Chief, I'm just not sure. You have 2 items left. If it's the will of this committee, we can listen to those 2 items because we have to put them by next time.
Okay. Any questions on our billing? We're excited about our increase.
Yeah, I like the numbers. What is it in comparison year to date of last year versus this year? Is it? You might have said that, Melissa, and I didn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am. I was comparing from last month to this month, but I can definitely pull last year's financial summary. Really.
Yeah, at this time, so it'll be okay. Year to date this year in comparison to 2021, and you can provide that information. The chief and I'll ask a little later. Okay. Thank you, Melissa. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the billing? We'll write from Melissa that tells us about the Blaze newsletter, yearbook, and all that good stuff.
Okay, yes. So for the month of November, we did release the Blaze newsletter on our social media, on Facebook and the county website. This can be obtained on the county website if you go under services in the fire/emergency services, and there is a Blaze newsletter section. Our newsletters have a lot of information, such as important information from E911, EMA, our EMS chief, deputy chiefs. We also have a field overview from our battalion chiefs and so much more. And speaking of events, we had several events for DCFD that we hosted and joined for the month of November. On Tuesday, November 15th, DCFD was invited to the First Responders Appreciation Day at PricewaterhouseCoopers for a barbecue lunch and facility tour. On Friday, November 18th, DCFD hosted a meeting for DC3IT, which is a community collaborative addressing the mental health response for Douglas County. Following that day, DCFD recognized the employees of the month to paramedic Kafunia for the field and Inspector Corkill and Inspector Thomas for admin. We also recognized Dr. Gilchrist, who is the Senior Services Director for the Fire Chief Citizen Award. And lastly, on November 16th, Douglas County handed out plaques to their customer service champions during an award program, which our very own Fire Chief and Administrative Assistant Ms. Eschenberg were both recognized. And that concludes our events we hosted or participated in for the month of November.
Chief, you're on, there you go.
Madam Chair, I'd like to say that we're just excited. We're still on fire over here, friendly fire. We do have a pinning ceremony coming up on December 16th. We'll be sending out invites, save the dates and all that. And we'll be recognizing our people who have been promoted and received certifications and all that good stuff. So we're just excited, and we're going to end the year with the blaze. And hopefully we get ready for next year to continue to do a good job. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Madam Chair, for no other questions.
All right, if there are no other questions from the committee, we just would like to end by saying this is our last meeting of the year. Wish everyone a happy holiday and also happy new year, because we will meet in beginning of next year. We have created a huge body of work. If we look at all the work that's been done in fire and EMS, as Chief Jolivet would say, we just can't tell it all. So this has just been an amazing year. Thank our chief and our deputy chiefs and main staff, and then our chief of EMS and all the committee members, and then E911 and our EMS, EMA, our directors. Thank you all so much, Katrina Harley, Director Neil Holland. Thank you all, and your entire staff for an amazing year. I see our finance team is on here as well. I want to give them a shout out and just tell you how much I appreciate you as well. Commissioner Guider, do you have any closing remarks? This is your last meeting with us. Would you like to say a few words? And certainly we will miss you dearly. You have contributed significantly to this committee. You're very engaged. You are committed, and you have been on fire with us, and we so much appreciate you. So I wanted to allow you just to have a few closing remarks.
Well, I've enjoyed it. I have a soft spot in my heart for the fire and EMS, and so I've enjoyed meeting everybody, working with y'all. Seems like it's running pretty good, and I believe the incoming commissioner is going to serve on fire and EMS too. So
would be wonderful. Mm-hmm.
That'd be good. And so anyway, just I hope each and every one of y'all have just a beautiful Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'll still be around.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be around. So I'm not disappearing. So and I will be seeing y'all from time to time. But thank you for the opportunity to serve on the committee.
Absolutely. All right, if there's nothing else.
Thank you for your service too.
If there's nothing else to come before this committee, this meeting is adjourned, and have a great weekend. And thank you again, Chief Jolivet. Good evening.